What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Shano, the Frayed Blade. I'm here with you today because I wanted to get another video out. But before I did that, I wanted to talk about two things. First off, before I get anything out of the way, I mean this from my heart, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for giving me a little bit of time out of your day and getting me off to an amazing start. I thought when I started this channel, I'd be sitting at like 5 subscribers for like months, and then we'd start seeing a little bit of traction, and it would go and go. You guys already got me past 20. Like, things are already moving faster than I ever would have expected, and I am so grateful for that. But the second thing I wanted to bring up is that I was talking with my friend Brandon Harden. Some of you might know him better as Soooooo Hondo from the Cavern Academy. And basically what I've decided I'm trying to do, since I've been rocking with them for a long time, and they've kind of helped me get my feet wet as far as, doing this thing. So what I've decided is that I'm here to start the West Coast branch of the Cavern family. And basically we're gonna, the East Coast branch is already doing this thing. We're gonna get the West Coast branch doing this thing. And this is a part of that takeover I've been talking about. It starts here, starts in America, but we're aiming worldwide. We want Cavern fam everywhere. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a prime part of that because I believe in their message, and I believe that it aligns with my message, and I think that's the best for everybody. So got those two things out of the way. So why am I making this video here? Well, if you noticed in my last video, I did hint to a video talking about all the upcoming games that I'm recently excited for. Now, I've been thinking very hard, and personally, I think I really need to make a list about it because there's just so much coming out. But if I were just gonna make a little teaser video, just to get you to know where my head is at, as far as especially the titles upcoming that I'm looking forward to, I would think one thing immediately on my list is that next month the new Attack on Titan game drops, and if you know anything about me, Attack on Titan 2 is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, anime game ever, and I feel like I'm really good at it, and I think it could be really one of the spotlights on my channel. So I'm definitely gonna push to make that a real thing. I mean, it's got some things in this thing. I might be able to stream it. We'll have to see how that all pans out, but that's gonna be very soon. So hopefully I can get my ducks in a row by then. But if not, there will be Attack on Titan 3 content on this channel. Probably a lot of it, especially if I can break that game down like I did the last one for a lot of people. Then I feel like a lot more people will be interested in it, But that being out of the way, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been looking at a lot of the Street Fighter 6 stuff from the outside looking in, and it looks pretty good. I think I've been doing the Tekken thing a little bit. I think I'm going to do I'm going to be on Street Fighter, Tekken, pretty much any fighter. Grand Blue Victory Versus was something I was experimenting with back when I still had my PS5. But I'd be interested in that. Guilty Gear, all of that stuff. I'm trying to broaden my horizons all across the board. And fighting games, I feel like fighting games are like elite as far as that hand-eye coordination and tactic is concerned. It's really good as far as training you on that and memorizing all them button imprints and stuff. But Street Fighter looks fun. Definitely looking forward to hopping into that. Dragon's Dogma 2 starting to get updates. They're getting a DLC that looks amazing. It looks like it's literally going to fix the game They're finally listening to us. They're getting rid of microtransactions. I don't want to hear nobody talking about L's for Capcom, guys. We gotta get some W's for Capcom in the chat or something. Because they're on a hot streak, man. They're doing everything right. I said, if they fix Monster Hunter and they fix Dragon's Dogma, they're A1 in my book right now. Right now, I feel better about Capcom than I do about FromSoft. I mean, and look, I'm not going to be a super downer on FromSoft. I just want less movie, less movie news and more video game news. That's all I ask for. I know y'all can do both. We've always said in the Xander that they can do both. We can have both of those, but I don't want one to drop in quality for the other. You know what I'm saying? Because for up until this point, for me, FromSoft games have been elite. Trust and believe. I might have a PS5 bagged, and if I do, one of the first playthroughs I'm planning for this channel is Sekiro. We're doing that. We're doing that ASAP as soon as possible. I am a proud Souls-like gamer, and that's the one game I've been avoiding for this very moment. I want you guys with me, all the struggles, all the triumphs and everything. I wish I would have took you guys through my Elden Ring journey. I wish you guys could have seen me grow as a gamer from that game, because I promise you, since that moment, it's just been non-stop, man. That moment told me, hey, like, there's nothing wrong with people who, play games on easy mode and all that stuff. Sometimes that's fun, but you really can't, find out about yourself unless you're playing the game on hard, When it's everything's on the line and all of that stuff, that's where you really know where you're at, And Elden Ring kind of helped me realize that that's where I'm at as a gamer, and that's what I should cultivate in myself as a gamer and in other people, I want everybody to at least dip your toe outside of your comfort box, you know what I mean? Because the world is so big, there's so much out here, there's so much to enjoy, and if you try it and you find some cool things, cool. But if it's not your style, you drop it and move on. But at least you can say that you gave it your you gave it the old college try, as they like to say. But yeah, getting back onto things, I got very high hopes for the Dustbloods. I don't want to see FromSoft fall off. It's just they're riding a lot on this Dustbloods, and we don't really have anything new on the pipeline other than that, and like some horse armored style DLC for Elden Ring. I hate to call it that, but that's kind of what it is. That's the big controversy around it. A lot of people are saying not to buy it because it's essentially like the horse pack for Oblivion, which is one of the key things that kind of did microtransactions. Me, I'll probably get it just because, I gotta have my feature complete version of Elden Ring. But I do understand that sentiment, and I am willing to talk about that, I am willing to, explore both sides on that, because this is one of those things when I'm talking about when it comes to FromSoft. It's like, you guys didn't used to move like this, The old FromSoft if they were doing a move like this, they would have gave us that for free. I'm just saying, And they damn sure wouldn't be putting out a game for, what is it, $80 or $60, a 4-year-old game? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just the way we're in. Now, personally, I want to say this much. I might end up getting the new wrestling game, but going forward, I won't be that worried about it, because seeing where wrestling emulation is online, that's my real priority, because that's where the passion is. Until we can get these actual wrestling games to catch up with them, then, that's where I'm going to be at. You know, all these No Mercy mods and WrestleMania 2000 and WCW Revenge. It's amazing, man. They're doing crazy things with the game. You know, and the thing is, the new wrestling game looks fun, but I know it's so going to be predatory. That WWE game is going to be predatory with microtransactions. It's going to be overpriced to all hell for all the feature content. You already know what this is. And I'm telling you right now, I can get like a time or two out of that, but I'm not about to be here for that every single year. Can't do it. But anyway, there's plenty of other things in the pipeline. You know, Spyro's getting a new game, which I am absolutely through the moon for. Obviously, Kingdom Hearts 4 is taking over the internet right now because fans actually got fed for once. Who knows when we'll see that game, but whenever it is, it's going to be dropping on the Switch too, as well as everything else. My guess would probably be like next year, maybe early next year if we're lucky. But you never know with Kingdom Hearts, so just keep your fingers crossed on that one. I want to see Kingdom Hearts fans out here eating. And I need to finish replaying the old games and get caught up myself. I never really beat Kingdom Hearts 3 or anything. I'd like to have I'd like to be a little more caught up with the story by now, because there's a lot of crazy shit going on, and I don't know the half of it. But obviously Ocarina of Time remake has sold me on the Switch too. It's not that alone, obviously. There's obviously stuff I want to do, like play the Pokemon games as intended, and plus I would love to see how games like Dark Souls 1 run on there. I'm a big fan of checking like the older games when they get ported over, how do they run on the newer stuff, because sometimes it's different. Like Dark Souls 1 on the PS5 is much different, runs and plays much differently than it does on PC versus the Switch and all of that stuff. That stuff is interesting to me. But when I get a Switch 2, I'm almost lore bound to check out Donkey Kong Bonanza, because Donkey Kong 64 was very, very instrumental for me. And when I was a kid, it kind of helped me. It kind of helped me get to that better plateau. You know what I mean? It was like after I beat that game and I went through all the rigors and stuff, any platformer was a piece of cake. I ran through the entire Spyro trilogy in one summer, and I remember it being such a core memory, because the way my family is, I live with at the time I was living with my mom and my stepdad, and so I would have to go I was down in North Carolina, and I would have to go up to Ohio and go to my grandma's house just to see my dad and my side of the family on there, my brother, sister, stepmom, so on and so forth. I'll never forget that summer I came down there and they had a place PS1, and they had this like family game night, and they were struggling so hard on these Spyro games, and I just became a legend of the family. I just came through and just breezed through all of it and more. Like, it was crazy how many games I had beat in that time, in that summer, staying with them. Their jaws were to the floor, and I felt so proud. I really felt proud, and that's why I think that's one of the reasons why I'm always going to be a gamer, man. Like, games have just done so much for me and everyone around me in my life, and I really believe in that positive change and trying to bring that on out, and help people embrace that more, help people embrace their passions more. And they'll become more passionate about life. That's something that I truly feel in my heart. But to get back on the subject, get off of rambling a little bit, there's a lot of new series that are coming out, especially in the JRPG realm, that I'm eyeing, that I might be a fan of. It's no secret to me. The Persona games to me have the one, arguably the best soundtrack in the JRPG field. Like they just be going off. Like what? So I might have to. It looks like things are popping off for the Persona brand like never before. It seems like there's a way to play every Persona but one or two, and we got a new Persona game coming out. This seems like the prime jump off point if you're ever going to get into Persona. So that's something in the pipeline for me. I can put that on the list, you know? And same thing, I feel the same way when it comes to the Xenoblade series. Those are games that I've been eyeing for the longest time. And they look pretty good on the Switch, but they're looking even better on the Switch too. So this is looking like the perfect jump off time for that. They're getting a new game too. Might as well, you know. Would love to check out the Fire Emblem games and the hype on that. I saw the new game for that coming. Like, there's just so much across the board that I feel like I'm gonna need I'm gonna need an actual list to list every single one that I'm actually super stoked for. But Final Fantasy VII Revelations looks amazing, and I think I get the vision. I understand why it does, because I feel like, and I'm not saying that the games are bad or anything. I got to catch up myself, get halfway past the remake and all of that. But I do feel like financially, the remake series hasn't performed like Square Enix wants. So this game, we're basically going to see them throw everything to the wall. And I think that's probably where the series is actually going to shine, you know. But, you know, and I'm not saying they're bad games. I still haven't made up my full, idea on it. It's just based on current events and based on how Square has been moving lately. That's what I'm seeing out of them, out of their behavior, around the game. But that being said, I still think this is gonna be the game they're selling it like it's going to be just timeless. And if it lives up to that, it's not only going to sell itself, but it's going to sell the previous games too, because people are going to want the whole story. That's the beauty about this. If they nail Revelations so much, if it looks exactly as good as those trailers we saw, and more, it will sell itself and the previous games too, and Square Enix will possibly see at least part of the money that they were looking for from this series overall. And it'll be very interesting where they go from there. Obviously, we want to see something new for Final Fantasy 17, but I am not against them remaking other Final Fantasies like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, all of that stuff. The Dissidia games kind of give us a peek into that universe, but it's not enough. We could do but it all depends on what they want to do. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here. It's almost 20 minutes. I've been rambling, but I think that's a good teaser as far as what I'm really interested in. But honestly, I know there's games for everything. Wolverine again for PlayStation, and God of War Le Fay also look really promising. There's stuff all across the board to be looking at, and I'm gonna be here. We're gonna play it. Hopefully, we're gonna stream it. Hopefully, we'll get everything away. We'll get our giveaways going. We'll get the Cavern Fam West Branch going. And then, we're going, after that, we're going global, baby. You know how it is. We got to do it. We got to do it, y'all. But I appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, this medium that I've always wanted. Like I said, we're growing so fast it's almost scary. But I'm here for the ride. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to help amplify your voice in this medium that we care so near and dear about, and all the mediums we care about, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, and I guess I should probably get into the habit of at the end of every video that's appropriate, at least, you know. So while we're at it, go ahead, do your boy a favor, like, share, subscribe. If you want to talk about the games that you're interested in the comments, by all means. I try to respond to everybody. You know, I would love the engagement. I would love to pick your brains. I'd love to talk about a ton of the games that I didn't get to in the 20 minutes that I've been running on this video. So you know where I'm at. I would love to hear from each and every one of you, but if not, that's okay too. Have an amazing day. I'll see you on the next vid. All right. Bye-bye, guys.